Hey, it's Ryan from upfitsupply.com, and in this video we're going to be installing some AutoPly insulation in our Ford Transit cargo van. Let's get started. All right, before we go applying our insulation panels to the van, first thing I want to do is actually go through all the surfaces, clean them off, make sure there's no grease, grime, dirt, and things like that. This happens to be a used van, so it does have some of that wear and tear on it. Even if you have a brand new van, sometimes there can still be some grease and stuff left over from the manufacturing process. So go ahead and get some surface cleaner out and a rag, wipe that all down. Now, what I love about the AutoPly insulation kit is just how easy it is to install. It takes what could take 8 to 12 hours to fully insulate the van and cuts it down to like an hour or less. And the way that they do that is because everything is pre-cut and has adhesive on it already. So you're just figuring out where a panel goes, peeling off the adhesive backing and sticking it up there like a sticker. So it's really easy to install. Now, the way that this comes in the box is it's separated into sections. And so there's going to be 3 sections. There's going to be the driver's side and rear door. Then there's going to be the passenger side door, and there's going to be a ceiling. So there's 3 different sections in the box here. So we're going to just take out panel by panel and figure out where they go. Now, if you need any help figuring out where the panels go, you can actually go ahead and download the full schematic, either on our website or on AutoPly's website, and it's going to show you where every panel goes. So if you find something that has, a kind of a unique little cut like that, you can kind of figure out where it goes on this schematic and then place it there. Now in the box, I'm going to come into a little paper separator that separates our sections. So I just have driver's side done right now. On to the next section. Okay, we found where all the panels go on the walls, the door, and the ceiling. So we're just going to apply one section at a time. I'm going to start here on the driver's side, make my way back, then we'll do the passenger side, then finally we'll do the ceiling. Now, the great thing about AutoPly insulation is it is pre-cut and it has this adhesive already on the back of the insulation panel. So all you got to do is take away the backing and then we're going to stick it in place. Now on the lower side here, I am going to opt for cutting these panels to fit within these nooks because we are going to be installing some Legend liners on top of this, and we're going to run into some conflicts with attaching those to the side wall if I didn't go inside this. So I'm just going to take some measurements of about where I need to make my cuts, and I'm going to stuff it in those cavities. Cutting these are pretty simple. You just want a sharp razor blade, hard surface to cut against. A nice clean cut like that. Now, in stuffing into these cavities, you don't have to remove all the backing if you don't want to. It actually makes it a little bit easier to just get a couple of squares off, or some locations where you can get some adhesive through here to stick it in there. It's going to be covered by a liner in our case. We just want it to hold in place. Now, on these lower rear panels, they're kind of already pre-cut into 3 different locations, at least on the 148. So you can either cut these up even more to get them in these crannies. You can just leave them like this and go over top of the cavities. The insulation benefit is actually the same regardless of which route you go. It's just going to be a matter of how you're going to be covering these. And for us, we don't want that additional gap. This is the 1/2-inch insulation when attaching our liners. So we're going to be cutting these up and stuffing them in. Now, just a little tip, if you can't get the adhesive away from the insulation, just take a razor blade and kind of cut it at an angle. Get a little slit in there, and a lot of times you can get the backing away from the adhesive material and kind of work that off. Now, one thing to note here on the side sliding door is there is no insulation panel for this lower side because there is an OEM panel. Anytime there's an OEM panel on the door, they don't provide insulation behind there because there is that air gap, and because you've got a lot of mechanisms and stuff with the door latch, the lock, and all of that. So the same is going to be true for the rear doors as the side door. There is no panel for the lower part of the doors. Okay, now that we're done with our walls and side door, we're gonna move on to the ceiling. Now for your rear doors, you're gonna get 2 panels like this. They basically go where there would be glass if you had the windows in the back. Sometimes they may need some minor trimming if there's any curves or anything like that, but pretty straightforward to apply those. We actually have the windows in the back of our van, so we're not gonna be using these panels, but we do have extras if we want to stuff them into any other nooks and crannies that we could find. We could reuse this in some other way. And that just about does it for the installation of this AutoPly installation kit in our Ford Transit. Again, this is a 148-inch regular mid-roof height, so it's gonna be a different kit if you have that shorter wheelbase or that extended body length or the high roof, things like that. So just make sure you get all those specs right about your van before you place your order. Now, if you're looking for this kit or any other equipment to get your van ready for work, be sure to check us out, upfitsupply.com. Again, my name is Ryan. Have a good one.